Alright, I'm officially recording this as it is the 1:45 mark and game one of the Western Conference semifinals. The Lakers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. These are my thoughts on game one. This is my first time doing this. I've always sort of wanted to do this, but I've never really gotten the opportunity. That time has sort of come. I've gotten a lot bigger of an opportunity. And I just want to ramble about NBA videos. I just want to ramble about NBA stuff. A lot of the stuff that I'm thinking at the time. So I think that anytime that I'm thinking about a lot of NBA stuff, I'm probably just going to come to my voice memos and record it. Not necessarily to post, but more so just to hear what I'm thinking and to keep tabs of it. But yeah, so this is, I think, JJ Redick is putting in Dalton Connect, so that officially means it's the end of the game. What are my thoughts on game one? Honestly, I'm pretty sure as Laker fans, we've all come into this series in the back of our head that, hey, it'd be amazing to win at least a game. And then maybe a game can tip over into another one. Maybe another one. But game one, game one gave me some hope for the future. Like I was saying, in the back of our head, I feel like Lakers fans, we have irrational confidence and we're delusional. I mean, myself at least. But even though I am delusional, that's with my heart because I'm a Lakers fan. But in my mind, I know damn well we don't really have a chance against OKC, especially with Luka not playing. But in game one, the Lakers sent a lot of double teams at Shea. A lot. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander did not necessarily have an MVP type performance tonight. I think he walks away tonight with 6 or 7 turnovers. And I don't even think he hit the 20-point mark. And to be honest, that's probably the mentality that I had going into this series was, hey, honestly, let everybody else beat us. Don't really let Shea get into a rhythm. If he does, I think that's where it starts to crumble. On top of their defense being how vicious it can be and very chaotic and it's a downfall. Once one thing happens and another thing happens and it starts to really, really pour on. And next thing you know, they're up 12, they're up 15. And so when Shea gets going, I think that compounds, and that's exactly what formulates OKC to be how they are, to be the very, very scary team that they are, that we compare them to, along with the likes of those Warriors teams. Let's not forget those Lakers teams back in the early 2000s and the Bulls teams in the mid to late 90s. All right, so the whole 90s, actually. But this game wraps up and we lose by 18. And what I came away with, big picture wise, is I really like this Lakers team. I know that coming into the season, we all said that this team wasn't athletic enough. Luka, LeBron, AR, DA, Rui. Marcus was old. But the other guys, we just weren't athletic enough compared to the other top teams, especially in the Western Conference. But what I think has, I wouldn't say completely changed my mind on that, but what I would say has sort of flipped the way that I think about a lot of NBA basketball in the playoffs. For one, I just came to a realization that I saw this last year, but this year I don't know I think maybe it's the Lakers being in the playoffs for at least a whole round and being competitive compared to last year, because last year they just were not competitive at all. Luka was a shell of himself. AR was playing with the turf toe. And LeBron, he was trying, but the team got blown up midseason. So I think it's more so that the Lakers are in the playoffs, and I'm watching it a lot more myself, but the playoffs are such a different sport than the regular season. I've come to a point where I'm pretty sure I think the NBA playoffs, obviously it's a mixture of offense and defense, but if you have a team like the Lakers that has a lot of big bodies, like Rui, LeBron, Vando, which it's unfortunate that, hey, this is actually a series that we may really, really need Jared Vanderbilt. And he has a gruesome, in the words of Shams, a gruesome pinky injury dislocation. He dislocated his pinky trying to go for an alley-oop block attempt on Chet Holmgren in the first half, and he was in a lot of pain in front of the Thunder bench, and the reaction did not look too good, especially from the Thunder side. As soon as they looked at it, they were in shock. They all had to look away. So I don't know what happens to Vando. I don't know what happened to him. Obviously, I hope he's okay. But that's on the shooting hand. Not like it matters. Not like he was a great shooter anyways. But in my opinion, that just completely throws his shooting out the window. Completely. Before it was, hey, maybe you can hit one. But no. I just think... And he actually had a standing dunk that I was like, oh, damn, Vando. But, yeah. So, hope Vando comes back. Because it's a pinky injury. Not the craziest thing in the world. But I really like Vando. Anyways. Yeah, the Lakers have a lot of big bodies. Rui, D.A., Jax, Bron, Vando. Marcus could play pretty big. Austin is 6'5". Jake, I like the size of Jake as well. No, whoa, hold on. No diddy. Yeah, they have a lot of big people. A lot of bigger wings that they can throw at Shea. Double team Shea. And Shea did not look like the best version of himself tonight. So, I think that's the formula that we have to keep moving with in this series. We have to keep thinking with. I would much rather let the Lakers lose this series by the others beating us. If it's Jared McCain, if it's Isaiah Hartenstein, if it's Jay Will, screw it, maybe even J-Dub or Chet. I'd much rather lose at the hands of them, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, AJ Mitchell. I do think maybe we can send a little bit more help towards AJ Mitchell. But I'd much rather lose at the hands of them than Casey Wallace and Lou Dort and Caruso. I'd much rather lose at the hands of them than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Because I really, really think if you let Shai start to get rolling, that's where you start to let the game slip. But I say that all that to say, I really don't think the Lakers have an amazing chance to win this series. But big picture, if Luka comes back, great. But after game 1, I'm not too sure that I even want Luka to come back. Luka comes back for maybe game 3. At that point, it's 2-0. Then it's like that Luka, like getting him integrated into the offense and into the team, and then back to playing. And yeah, then it's having to get him reintegrated into the team. I just think that's, especially against a team like OKC, I just don't think that's viable. I think if we really, really had a chance to beat OKC, Luka should have really been back by game 1, and that's just not the case. So I just don't think we have it this year, which is unfortunate. But what can we take away from this? LeBron still has it. LeBron still has it. LeBron is the GOAT in my opinion. I don't really think that's the biggest deal in the world. But he continues to prove why he is looked at as probably the best player to ever play the game. LeBron is showing not only the Lakers, but the league, which is sort of scaring me, to be honest, why he is worth every penny that he is given on his contract. He is showing everybody why, hey, I am not done. I still have a lot left more in the tank. And it really scares me because I don't know how LeBron is going to be with his contract over the summer. I don't know if he's going to play hardball and, well, hey, look, I just showed everybody around the NBA that I'm still that guy, so I need to be paid like I'm that guy. I don't know if he's going to do that. And if he does, I honestly wouldn't blame him. You don't know how many more years LeBron has left to play. And you don't know how many more times he's going to be able to get a max contract. So he's showing everybody, I think this is his best opportunity to show everybody, hey, I can still do this, so give me that bag. If he was behind Luka and Austin, and he wasn't being the first option and called upon for all these responsibilities, then I think, hey, maybe the Lakers especially would have more leverage when it comes to the contract, but that's not the case. LeBron has been called upon to be the number one option again, as he has throughout his career, and he is performing like it. I really love how aggressive he came out, especially at the start of the game. I think he started off with like 7 points, 8 points, 9 points, something like that, but straight to the post against little ass Cason Wallace and Lou Dort, and they just said they really have nobody to guard him, especially if J-Dub is out. But yeah, back to the contract. If LeBron plays hardball, I don't know what we do. If he really wants a max contract, I do not know what we do. The Lakers, if he asks for a max contract, I don't know if we give it to him, to be quite honest. But then again, looking at how Austin Reeves just performed in this series, I don't know if Austin wanted to come back. If his agent wanted, and I really, really hope I'm wrong, but the perimeter defense looks crazy. Austin Reeves does not look like he can get into anything at all. It looks like as soon as he comes off a screen, a million different OKC defenders are just waiting for him, and then he picks the ball up. He can't get into anything, and I don't blame him, because a lot of perimeter players in the league can't really do anything against OKC. That's why you see LeBron go to the post. But I don't know what we do if LeBron asks for that contract. If he does ask for that contract, I don't know if the Lakers can give it to him. I really don't know. But what I will say is I really, really want this team to stay together. I know that we just lost by 18 in OKC. I know that even though it looks like we probably did a lot of what we can do, to be honest, I don't really see a lot of adjustments that we can make to give us more of a chance. But at the same time, I'm not an NBA coach, so I don't see things that way. Maybe they do, but I don't. But I will say I really, really like this Lakers team. One person that has really, really changed my mind on him and where I stand with him on his future with the Lakers is Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura has completely changed my mind about him, changed the way that I think about him. And that's why I think my first point throughout this ramble, whatever, is the NBA playoffs are just such a different sport than the regular season. In the regular season, we saw lineups with Luka, Bron, Rui, DA, and they would just get killed. They would absolutely just get killed throughout the regular season. They did not play any defense throughout the regular season, and we just could not wait for a lineup, especially like that, to get split up. We thought they were slow-footed. We thought laterally they were really slow, and we just thought the lineup wasn't it. But in the playoffs, you can see that everybody's dialed in. Everybody knows the scheme. Everybody knows the game plan. Everybody's switching. And if you have 4 switchable players like that, Rui, Bron, Luka, a big guard in there maybe, Laravia, he's here next year. If you have a lineup like that, Austin Reeves is 6'5", 6'6". You have a lineup like that, and especially they're all shooters. They can all shoot. Marcus Smart, even. They can all at least hit a shot. Okay, see, they do everything great. They do everything tremendously great. They don't do anything bad at all, except one thing, in my opinion. They aren't the greatest shooters. Chet is a good shooter. J-Dub is a good shooter. Shea can be, and so can AJ Mitchell, but that is why you saw Jerry McCain get a lot of minutes this game. Jerry McCain didn't play as much in the last series, but this series, you saw why he's on the floor. They throw it to him because the Lakers are sending a double, and Jerry McCain ends up going 4 or 5 from 3 and starts hitting the crowd with, but back to the Lakers. The Lakers Rui has changed my thought process on this team. Not this team, but himself. He has shown me that he can really play in the playoffs. You give him something to dial in on, he can dial in on that. He can assess the situation and stick to the game plan. Now, if you start to ask him to do a little bit too much extra stuff, whatever, okay, that's where you start to lose him. But you give him an assignment and you let him lock into that assignment, and he will execute it. I think he's been a lot better in the playoffs defensively than in the regular season. And I think if you put him into this defensive scheme and this defensive game plan, I think he can work. You saw him even at times full court pressing Shea. So, and he's not the greatest defender, but to have somebody up there and have somebody giving Shea some full court pressure. We saw it last year in the finals with Indiana. Indiana always had Aaron Nesmith or Andrew Nemhard, or at times TJ McConnell. They had him full court pressing and just making life a lot tougher on Shea. And so, I really, really like this Lakers team. I know it sucks that we don't really have a chance against OKC this year, but Luka comes back next year. Bron, I just hope he doesn't ask for a max. Maybe we can get him on like a 30, 35. Get him and Austin to like around the same price range, 30, 35 each. And then hopefully maybe DA can opt in. Marcus Smart. I think teams around the league will look at DeAndre Ayton like, hey, you're not really doing that unless you have a big dog with you. And by a big dog, I don't mean like a dude that's literally bigger than him. No, I mean like somebody that will be on his ass. And if they're not on his ass, they will make sure, hey, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Get him out of here. We saw JJ bench him multiple times throughout the season and gladly put in Jackson Hayes and live with the results. So, I think DA needs to have somebody there, some team, especially like the Lakers. The Lakers have Luka. The Lakers have LeBron. The Lakers have Marcus Smart. The Lakers have JJ Redick. They can all gladly hold him accountable. And if he's not doing it, and I'm pretty sure his agent is talking to him on the back and saying, hey, these are some of the best players in the league, especially like leadership-wise and everything, and it's not going to get much better than this. So if you can't strive here, then I don't know where you're going to go, man. But, yeah, hopefully teams around the league will look at DA like, we're not really trying to throw a mid-level at him. And if they do, I just don't know if I'm paying for that. But I really want them. DA has... What I do like about DA is he's an offensive big. Especially when he gets smaller defenders on him on the switches, he seals. He shows a really big body. And he takes advantage of his mismatches. Sometimes when the big iHeart or whoever is guarding him, when they like to drop a little bit lower into the paint, DA could just hit him with a little floater or even maybe a little 10, 15-foot jump shot. So I like that about DA. And he can be a lob threat even though he does have smaller hands. But it's fun. All that, he'd look a million times better with Luka here. But he still looks pretty good. So, I just want, hopefully maybe he can opt in. Rui, I would say I don't want to spend any more than the mid-level, to be quite honest. Like, what's the mid-level? 13, 14 million? I don't want to spend any more than 15 million, to be honest. I feel like we paid him significantly on the first contract that we gave him. The 18 million, I don't think anybody else in the league would have paid him 18 million at the time. I don't know. I really don't know. But this is why I'm not in the general manager position. But yeah, I hope we can keep Rui. Marcus is probably going to double what he's making. I think he's making 5. He's at least going to double that, I'm pretty sure. So you get him around 10. Hopefully DA around 10. Rui around 15. What's that, 35? 35 to Bron. That's 70. 35 to AR. It's 105. Luka's making 50. 55. That's 160. Jake is still on the roster for 6? 166, plus you add Vandals, 12, 13, that's 179. We don't have anything. But I will say, I really, 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 really like this roster in the playoffs. You give us a Luka Doncic fully healthy. with this roster. Austin Reeves, I know he wasn't really anything at all today in Game 1. But you give Luka the opportunity to spread this OKC team out, give Austin the keys to alleviate the pressure a little bit and attack the secondary defender, maybe even the third defender. And then you give Bron a bunch of mismatches and post looks, and same thing with Luka. You have Luka back in the series. They don't have anybody to guard LeBron. What makes you think they have anybody to guard Luka? Luka is taking every smaller defender to the post. Alex Caruso, come here. I'm giving you that work. It's a mouse in the house. Feel me? But Cason Wallace, same thing. Lou Dort, the only way you're doing anything to Luka is if you injure him, which I wouldn't doubt that you would. But, yeah, you give a fully healthy Luka this team, DeAndre Ayton, in the role. He can do a lot offensively. You got Rui all the way in the other corner with LeBron and Austin Reeves. I think this team is scary. And the scariest part that what am I rambling for? What is this? I like to ramble. This is almost 25 minutes. The scariest thing that I haven't even mentioned is JJ Redick. JJ Redick. I'm beating the table. They all laughed at this man when they called him the next Pat Riley. And I'm not here to say that's what he is. But I don't think I ever, and I will say ever, look at JJ Redick as an NBA coach and see him on a losing roster. Maybe he might have a bad year with injuries. Maybe he might have a bad team. But if that's the case, I just don't see JJ being there for very long. If he's in a bad situation or they're not getting out anytime soon, JJ better not be on that team, because that man deserves to be in the playoffs every single year. This man is in his second year, and he just coached circles around Ime Udoka. This man, JJ Redick, I would say is a top 10 coach already in the NBA. I have Lakers bias, so I want to put it even higher. But I'm trying to be objective here. JJ Redick has completely changed my perspective when it comes to the playoffs. He has showed me maybe we don't need the craziest perimeter defenders. Maybe we don't need the craziest rim protectors. But if we have IQ, and if we stick to a game plan, and we fight, and we give it our all, we will always have a chance. I think this team has looked completely different since JJ Redick has arrived. I don't think Darvin Ham had command of this team like this. I don't think who was here before Darvin. I don't think Frank Vogel had a command like this. I know Frank won a championship, but I would say LeBron and Rondo held such a big hand in that I don't think they respected Frank as much as they do JJ. But JJ has completely switched this team around ever since he's gotten here. And he's built a culture. So I think over the offseason, maybe we retain Jackson. Adu gets better. We had the first round pick. I don't really want us to trade it. I want us to get some youth, some athleticism, and find maybe a piece or something. I don't know what we do, but I really like this team. I think the future is bright for this team, especially with Mark Walter being the owner now, and he can put money towards all the other places that we need. This game, yeah, it sucked, but I'm very, very optimistic about the future with the Lakers. As long as LeBron stays. If he doesn't, then this whole 30 minutes that I've been going on about is just for nothing. But this was my first time rambling about the Lakers. It comes after Game 1 of the Oklahoma City series in the Western Conference semifinals. The Lakers they didn't get their ass kicked, but they did lose. Typically, how everybody loses against OKC nowadays. But what I will end off with is some pettiness. I do not want to ever fucking hear Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the same conversation as Luka Doncic ever again. You send a double team at SGA and he looking like KD. All of a sudden he don't know what to do. Throwing that motherfucker over, turning the rock over, throwing it out of bounds, throwing it to LeBron. Bro, I wish a motherfucker would double team Luka. Luka pulling out, stretching out that defense, and pulling that bitch from 40. I wish you would play a drop. Oh my. That's just... I'll leave it there. Don't put SGA and Luka combos ever again. Luka Doncic is the best player in the fucking world.